What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Saturday, June 13th. These picks apply for the DraftKings Showdown slate. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, real quick for those who don't know how these simulated slates work, everything works the same. You build a full lineup using the players available in the slate. The only difference is the fantasy points each player scores is a fantasy score from any game that player has played so far this year. Only players with at least 15 games played are in the player pool. Pretty simple. They just take a score at random from previous games that player has played, and that's it. So knowing how that works, we've added some tools to Draft Dashboard so you can see all the possible outcomes of scores from each player, and we show the percent chance that the player has to score in each point range. So pretty handy. You can hover over the Sim Scores button and see right here exactly what scores this player can get for this contest. It will be one of these at random. And then you can see what percent chance they have to score in these point ranges. Okay, remember, we have a daily cheat sheet for esports for League of Legends, and that's linked from the Sports tab right at the top of Draft Dashboard. And we now have a cheat sheet for Korean baseball, NASCAR, and the MMA, and you can find those cheat sheets linked from the Draft Dashboard news. Okay guys, let's take a look at this DraftKings showdown between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm going to start off by giving you the top value play on the slate, and that's Derrick Favors, projected at 27.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 8.5 times value. He's 3,200 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at these sim scores. A 13% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 49% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 33% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 4% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So he has a 37% chance to score 30 fantasy points or more, and absolutely crush value. So I like Derrick Favors here at 3,200 DraftKings salary. He's a lock for me. Moving up in salary, I like Steven Adams, projected at 30 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.6 times value. He's 5,400 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 5% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 44% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 44% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 7% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So I like Steven Adams here at 5,400 DraftKings salary. Now moving up in price a little bit here, I like Lonzo Ball, projected at 34.7 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 6,800 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 4% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 36% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 43% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and an 18% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So I like Lonzo Ball here at 6,800 DraftKings salary. Now another decent value play in the mid-range here, if you need to go here, it's Josh Hart, projected at 24.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.8 times value. He's 5,000 DraftKings salary. Now I would much rather play Steven Adams if I can get up to him for 5,400, but if you're struggling to fit an extra 400 off your salary, take a look at Josh Hart. Let's take a look at these sim scores. An 18% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 53% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, and a 30% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. So not terrible sim scores there if you need to go here. So I like Josh Hart here at 5,000 DraftKings salary. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. So look guys, I know there's not a lot of sports playing right now, but we are posting a daily cheat sheet for esports for the League of Legends contests, and we just added these new DFS tools for the NBA simulated slates. We're going to be updating our tools to help you pick the best players for these sim sports, and I think these tools are going to give you a big advantage. There's no human element here. This is a stats game. This is a math problem. This is where our tools can really help you identify the numbers, the percent chance these players are going to score within these point ranges, so you know what you're getting into with each pick. Now, another guy, only go here if you need to. He's a safe play. Not a lot of low-end risk, not a lot of huge upside, but he's a solid play to get you his median points. It's Danilo Gallinari, projected at 31.7 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.3 times the value. He's 7,400 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 0% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, so that's great. A 40% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 58% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 2% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So you're most likely going to get somewhere right around 40 fantasy points for this player, which is not too bad for his salary. So I like Danilo Gallinari here at 7,400 DraftKings salary. Okay, now my favorite player of the slate. This guy's a lock at captain for me because he's going to open up tons of salary, and he's way underpriced here. I like Drew Holiday, projected at 40.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 8,000 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 0% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, an 18% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 53% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 22% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and he's got some major upside here with a 7% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So I like Drew Holiday here at 8,000 DraftKings salary. I think he makes the best captain on the slate. Okay, let's take a look at a couple other studs you can fit in your lineup. I like Brandon Ingram, projected at 41.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 3.9 times value. He's 10,800 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 4% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 12% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 51% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 28% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 5% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So I like Brandon Ingram here at 10,800 DraftKings salary. And another stud that I like here is Chris Paul, projected at 37.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 3.7 times value. He's 10,000 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 20% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 58% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 19% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 2% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So I like Chris Paul here at 10,000 DraftKings salary. Now, just keep in mind how good these sim scores are for Drew Holiday. Only 8,000 DraftKings salary with a 22% chance to score 45 to 60 and a 7% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. He's got better upside than some of the other 10,000 plus players. So I think the key to the slate here is Drew Holiday and our value play of Derrick Favors. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck. Okay guys, if you're getting any value from this video, please hit that red subscribe button. We put out new fantasy basketball videos every single day. So if you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification, you won't miss out on any of our new fantasy basketball and fantasy football videos. Tons of free stuff coming your way. It only takes a second, and it helps us push out more fantasy content for you guys to consume each and every day. It's because of you subscribers that make this possible. So thank you for supporting this channel. This is a quick reminder, you should be reading the comments of this video. We have some savvy basketball fans who watch these videos, and they often give great plays and call me out when my picks are wrong. Wisdom of the crowd is a great way to get a feel for what players the field likes in today's NBA slate. We also have a DFS tool that shows you what players our members like for today's slate, so you can come on in and check that out.